today, and I was like, all right, let's do a reaction video about this. It's about what he has seen about female nature from being a personal trainer. Let's see what he has to say.
These places, especially when I was in college, because that was my first ever quote unquote occupation that I did, especially while I was in college. There were a lot of interactions that I would have with women, married women specifically, not single women. I did have some single women that I worked with. That's fine, but married women, I would have some interactions with them that would leave me scratching my head, because, you know, I'm a very moral person, and obviously don't shit where you eat, right? Like always, that was always my mindset. Never shit where you eat, and also never touch another man's wife, right? That's another thing. Consensually, of course. I know some people are gonna think like I'm saying something crazy, but I would have these crazy experiences where, you know, obviously I'm a trainer. I'm here to make money. I'm making money, and I'm working with these women, and they start to get really flirtatious, right? And you start to wonder, because you know that they're married, because they came with their husbands in that consultation. Their husbands were sitting in that consultation. Their husbands were egging them on to actually be trained by me. And they were all for it. And then once the husband left and they were just me and them in the gym, right? They would start to, you know, say flirtatious things. They say, "Oh, you're so attractive. Like, oh, your muscles. I love how you look. Like, oh my God, like you're so amazing. I wish my husband was like that."
God
and
damn.
they would start to say things like this in the beginning, right?
That's
and I worked with
crazy.
these women for about 3 to 6 months, right? Nothing crazy. But as the weeks went on, the flirtation,
goes crazy.
The flirtations got more and more and more,
it's more intense,
right? To the point where,
you know, this is why I tell.
I'm like,
let's pause this right.
Like, I wouldn't tell them.
This is why I tell guys that, you know, it depends who's watching this, but with women, if they like you at first, don't respond to their signals. Act like you don't see them. They'll start to act in ways that you never seen before. And that will save you a lot of problems, because then they can't say, "Oh, you were just seeing shit with your head." Fucking hate when they say that shit, man. They don't say that to me, but you know what I mean. So that's why I always prefer that if you're working with someone and you like her, let her do all the work. You know, don't be hater, because a woman that likes you will make it fucking clear. I mean, she'll make it clear. If she doesn't like you, you'll be like, "Does she like me or not?"
And I'm like, "You're married. Like, how could you be this flirtatious? Like, how could you be egging me on so much?" And it would get to a point, I would say typically around week
It's not even
8,
flattering.
they would be like, "Hey, I'm not gonna lie, like I
want that
really
dick.
attracted to you. Like, I don't really do much when I'm at home. My husband's not there. He's always at work. You can come over," or something like that, or like, "Hey, let's go do this. Let's go do that." And I would politely say no. I respectfully say
I'm
no,
good.
because obviously, you know, I respect their husbands. I respect what they're doing. I respect the hustle that they're doing. But there's one thing I realized, because these demographic of women were rich women, right? And these rich women were always left at home by themselves. They were always bored. So they always wanted to talk to a lot of these guys.
Well, that's the thing.
Who were in these services industries, right?
If you're a woman and you date a rich guy, he's gonna leave you alone. You're gonna be alone a lot. And this is why I tell women, man, if you date just for the money, man, girl, if you date old rich guys, man, because there's a lot of women that watch Shira 7 and Liz, and a lot of these coaches that tell women to almost like just low key be sugar babies. It's like, yo, like, you're not gonna be happy, because even if you manage to get that guy is gonna want to bang women that are younger. That's just how it is. Especially if he's coming at you with your money, he's gonna feel entitled to get another girl on the side. Unless you're okay with being cheated on, well, then that tells me there's big issues there, man. And I just hate how so many creators for women are telling women to like date men and be low-key sugar babies. I mean, it's wild. And you have women are in their 40s and 50s thinking that they can do it. It's like, yo, like, you guys are being lied to. You guys are being lied to. Like, there's a lot of attractive women. Don't get me wrong. Like, in the 40s, I get it. But that's the bait for younger women, though. You know, like, you get what I'm saying? It's like, yo, like, you gotta, sometimes as you get older, you forget where you are. You forget how you look to the outside world. You know, you forget what you represent. And it's important to have that self-awareness. You know, because if I'm a guy and I look like grandpa and I'm trying to hook up with like women in their late 20s and I look like grandpa, I'm gonna scare them. I gotta have self-awareness. I'm like, okay, I look like grandpa to them. Like, you know, like there are some things that you just cannot change because of age, you know?
Right? They would have their own personal masseuse who was a male. They would have their own trainer who was a male. They'd have their own gardener who was a male. They'd have all these male services.
Señorita, necesita más ayuda adentro? That's a Mexican guy. Señora, hola señora, necesita más ayuda adentro? Sí, Juan, vente para adentro. Necesito que tú venga a mi cuarto.
Around them,
First of all, how she knows Spanish?
Clearly for a reason. It never was just that, right? It never was just for just like their actual trade work that they did. But as I was talking to them more, I would try to understand what was going on at home, because that would give me a good understanding of why they act the way that they act. Because I do believe that women who feel neglected or who feel like they're just sitting at home and just like their husband is out doing whatever he's doing, again, respectful, because he's going out, he's going on business trips. Who knows what he's doing on these business
Come on,
trips?
we know what he's doing.
But like,
we know what he's doing.
Money, right?
No, but he's
living
cheating.
His comfortable lifestyle. Why would you talk to?
I'm gonna pause this. Look, the problem that he doesn't understand is that she also knows, but she resents that. She resents the fact that he's cheating on her. You gotta understand, people want their cake and eat it too. Like, even if it doesn't make any sense, people still want it and they feel justified. And if you don't give it to me, I won't get revenge. So to her, she feels neglected. Yeah, she's with a guy that is also a guy that, you know, that gets with women for money, or you kind of know that you're in it for the money. He knows that, and you know it's kind of implied. But at the same time, you also want love, right? That cold side is still there. You still want it. That's the problem, is that nowadays guys want to be the rich guy that travels for work and cheats on his girl, and women nowadays want to be the girl that stays home and has a rich husband. But the problem is that both sides want their cake. The guy wants the woman to stay home and not cheat, and the woman wants a guy who has a lot of money but that he won't cheat as well. It's like, no, fundamentally, you guys are in it for the wrong reason, so of course it's going to shatter beneath you.
Personal trainer who's in college still. Like, why would you do that? You know what I mean? So it always hit me in the back of my head, like, what's going on? Like, why are you choosing to talk to me versus the guy who's rich? Don't women like rich guys?
Nah, because you
only want money.
It's not. Yeah, they do. But again, they want to feel attractive. And the rich husband is tired. The rich husband, likes new things. I want a new yacht. I want another new yacht. He has the money because he wants new. It's not just the fact that he has a lot of money so that he can have new varieties with things, also with women. And so the woman dates this rich, powerful guy, and guess what happens? She feels neglected because obviously he doesn't find her physically attractive anymore. That's what happens. It's both sides lose in this situation, you know. And I understand most people get in it and they don't understand this.
When I started to really analyze this, I noticed that the money was kind of like a safety net for them. They want the rich guys because the rich guys have the money that will give them the lifestyle that they want.
Yep.
But the fun comes in with the guy who may not be rich, but also has a certain personality and has a certain edge to him that they're super attracted to, more of like the high testosterone guy, right? That like they just have like this crazy.
And that's why. Like, that's why they do that. And the man also does that too. And most likely these women are highly attractive, right? And they become MILFs as they get older, which makes sense, right? The MILF hooks up with the young guy. But this is the thing, is that if that relationship could work, because the guy can act stupid. They both could be in agreement. And the guy may not want to fuck her, may have sex with her, and the woman may not want to have sex with him either. But if they accept who they are, meaning their nature, they could possibly just understand that that's how they are and love each other that way. That's actually a real thing. They don't have to have sex, right? I mean, look, if you're already that, if this is where you are, this is what I'm presenting is a pretty reasonable, healthy solution compared to, what he'll say, I guess.
Crazy fondness of, they fantasize over.
Let's keep watching it.
A lot of women fantasize over the personal trainer. They fantasize over the masseuse that touches them a little bit in a certain way, and they get excited and they want to do this and they want to do that. I'm not saying all women.
Yo, masseuse be doing crazy shit sometimes.
And it got to a certain point where I was really just asking so many questions about their relationships, and they would open up. They would say a lot. They say, "Oh, well, he doesn't last very long. Like it's kind of boring. Like I've never orgasmed in my sex life at all." Like they would just like throw this shit out there, and they would bash the guy so much. And in my head, I'm like, "But he's a millionaire." Like,
nah, bro.
When I tell you, well, in Massachusetts, billionaires out there, right? There are. I remember when I was waiting tables, because I did a little bit of serving at the country club, the Wellesley Country Club. The CEO of Bank of America was there. I'll never forget that. I didn't even know who he was. I served him, right? And these are the types of guys that live there. Like all the NBA players live there, everything, right? And all of their wives, I'm not saying his wife, or I'm not saying any NBA player's wife, but like a lot of these rich guys' wives would go to these trainers and they would flirt with them and they would do things with them.
And listen, my man, if you don't think that these rich guys are not representing you, their wives, for that reason, you don't get it, because that's the reason why they're doing that. Some of these guys understand that they can't please their wives, and they sort of come to an agreement. You may not see it, but some people are mature enough to do that. Like that's a real thing, actually. And look, man, if you're not physically, if you love your girl, but you're not, the sex is not there, and I mean, look, man, you come with your own settlement with your girl.
And it always puzzled me because I'm like, you have something safe at home. Why are you coming here and taking the risk with somebody? What if he finds out? Right, but then obviously
he knows
they have probably half of whatever the guy has, and they
leverage.
feel like they can do whatever they want.
Leverage.
And it was just crazy to experience this stuff. And they would always talk about how like he doesn't necessarily listen to me, he doesn't pay enough attention to me. I always feel like I'm alone. I'm with the kids. Like I just like want to have some fun, right? And it's tough to hear this as a man because you're like, man, what if this shit happens to me? Which again, it can happen to anybody.
Well, it could happen to you if you neglect your girl. The problem is that if you become that powerful, that could become you, though. That's the thing. Like sometimes the power you have in life causes you to want things that are outside of your reach, and you start to get bored with things when you have more power. That's just how it is. And you start to see things as more replaceable. So that's why it's kind of like, like, don't get too powerful, like, because your taste will change. Your little taste for things could change to the point that it becomes illegal, the things that you want.
To me, it could happen to you, it could happen to anybody. It doesn't fucking matter. The reality is it is a possibility, right? But what I've also noticed is it's a possibility that can be reduced if you're a man who can basically do more, right? And again, this is gonna piss off a lot of guys. They're like, why do I have to do more? I just don't want to date women at all. Go ahead, don't do that, right? That's your prerogative. But I take that as a masculine man, I take that as a challenge. Like how can I be somebody who's also fun, cool to talk to, like can actually give the woman a good experience while also getting the money as well, right? It's good to have both. But a lot of these guys will be so focused on their careers, which again, respect to them because that's super important. But the women would be on the side just fucking around, right? Idle's mind is the devil's playground is what I learned. Because as they're doing these exercises, they're pointing their butt out a certain way. They want to do more squats. All of a sudden, they want you to get right behind them. They want you to do all these different things.
Damn, dude. Honestly, man, I'll get it if she was hot, but if I don't find her attractive, I feel uncomfortable. Like the other day, I went to get a massage, and this girl was putting her legs between this. I'm like, yo! I didn't go yo, but I'm like, the fuck? Hey, yo, these masseuses are crazy. One time, I had a girl who knew about my channel and was massaging me. I'm like, yo, like, that's not that. You're getting a little bit too close. like, what the fuck is going on? Like, some of these women, when a woman wants a man, they get creepy, man. I'm telling you, that's the thing guys have to understand is that if you're not getting creepy vibes from women, like you're going too fast. Like, I'm telling you, if you want to get the creepy side of her, go slower and you'll see.
things. And I just realized, man, I'm like, if you're a dude and you let your woman like go be with like a male trainer or like a male masseuse or any of these different services, you're kind of cooked at the end of the day, especially if you're a grinder, if you're somebody who's really working hard and building and you're not at home very often. The likelihood of something happening is a lot higher. And I didn't realize this until I went through that process. And once I started to understand, like, it's not about the money. It's not. It's about the fun. It's about the thrill. It's about the emotional roller coaster. A lot of these guys, when I would meet them, when they would come and sit down at, like, you know,
I'll tell you this. It's because these women are going after powerful guys. By that very nature, she gets a high conquering a man of power. Like they're usual high chasers. You can see this because they love new things. New things give you high. They love to travel new places. It's a high. They love the high. They love the pinnacle of things. And so that's why they're going after you. I promise you, these women, as soon as you fuck them, they lose interest.
Halfway point reviews and stuff like that. And like they'd want to renew and everything. They would be so excited that I'm working with them. They're like, man, crazy. You're doing so great. She looks so amazing, et cetera, right? And it's like they just didn't understand what was going on behind the scenes.
They knew,
it,
bro.
Could not even be possible.
Some of them, the smart ones, though.
Their wife would be flirting with a 19-year-old personal trainer.
Like I think it was Joe I don't know who it was. This mobster. I think you guys heard about it. How the mobster let one of the teenage boys bang his wife, and he thought that he was gonna get in trouble. And long story short, he found out. The boss find out, and the guy thought he was gonna die. I think it's Franzi, something like that. Anyways, Joe DiMaggio. And then he said no, he was okay with it because he knew he wasn't pleasing his girl, and he knew that she was having fun with him. And as long as nobody found out, he was okay with it. Yeah, that happens with powerful men. That's exactly what happens. So if you're cheating and the girl you're cheating with is an older woman and she's friends with, and that's the wife of a powerful man, I can promise you, you are okay. Most likely he knows that. He knows what's happening. If you're still okay, if you're still alive after a month, he knows and he's okay with you doing that. It's just weird. That's all. It's just a weird thing.
Like, I have the money. Of course she's attracted to me. It's like, no. And by the way, a lot of these guys were fat. A lot of these guys were fat, out of shape. I was like, man,
that changes everything.
I jokingly say this in the consultation.
That changes it.
I can train both of you guys.
That changes it.
And of course, the woman would be like, no, it's just for me. It's just for me.
Oh, that changes everything.
And the guy would be like, yeah, she can have that. I'm good.
She's just a trophy wife for him then. That's all. A trophy.
The woman would want to get in better shape. The man would not. As she got in better shape, she would start to look in different directions, right? I would see the same woman looking at other trainers as well, not just me. I'm not saying that I'm like this.
Yo, guys, I like to be humble, but I kind of understand people. I kind of understand people.
It's over or nothing like that. It was just the idea of being with somebody who was in shape, somebody who was young, somebody who looked adventurous, somebody who looked like they were just living life just on the edge. Like that's what they were looking for, And so it got to a certain point where I just realized it's not all that it seems to be. Like, chasing money is great to be able to chase a fulfilled life when it comes to like your finances, to make sure that you're not stressed all the time. But it gets to a certain point where all of your life as a man has to be balanced, right? And it's like, you can have the greatest woman in the world, but if you neglect her completely, she's going to go awry. She's going to start doing other shit because they need attention. Yeah. All of them do.
Yeah.
It's normal for them to want attention. But it was just crazier to see these rich women who had the money, who wanted people who didn't have the money.
Yeah, it's Jack from Titanic. She was with that rich guy, but guess what? The rich guy was abusive. Jack from Titanic was nice. He was adventurous. He treated her well. In fact, he was the artist. Yes, he's no worry about him. He's just a painter. And that's the thing, is that when women date men for money, they eventually will become a cheater. That's just how it is. It's just how it is, And you got to have that in your conscience. Well, guess what? Maybe the cheater, maybe he knows, like I said, maybe he knows that she's doing that shit.
All the trainers around me also were kind of similar to me financially. Like, we weren't balling, probably making around $50K a year, $40K a year.
Shit, if I was them, I'd be like, yo, lady, buy my painting. Buy my painting, lady. You want to be hip? Buy my. I'll paint you like one of my rich women. My French girls. By the way, you guys can buy this painting. It's for $5,000. You guys can buy. I made it myself with pastel painting, and that's Leonardo da Vinci. Look, I don't give a fuck. If nobody buys it, I don't give a fuck. This is gonna die with me if that's the case. I am not selling that shit for cheap because it took 3 months to paint this, man. 3 months to paint this, to frame it and everything. Really, really nice stuff.
Doing the training stuff at the gym, you know how the gym works. Like you get paid probably 20%, if best, of what they're paying you per session, right? The going rate for those gyms that I was working at, the Equinox one in San Francisco, was $200 a session, right? Crazy, $200 a session. The one in Wellesley in Boston, Massachusetts, was around $90 a session, $90 to $100 a session. So these were like higher price things. And so we would get a small percentage of that. We'd only get 20%. And I just understood. I was like, man, it's not what the whole like idea of women, like it just shattered my idea. Like it helped me understand.
Well, my brother, you're only looking at a very specific type of woman, the gold digger. Like that's what you have to be very careful about. This is not most women. This is not most women. These women were able to get the rich guy. So they're a special kind that could fuck a guy she's not attracted to for the money. Like that's a special kind of woman. So, you know, don't let the fact that they look rich and clean visually fool you. They're ratchet, just in their own rich way.
Understand that like
Epstein kill himself.
Safe even with money. If you're one dimensional, if you only have money, you're not safe. You gotta have multiple different attributes to you that wow, the woman you have.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The problem is not the money part. The problem is that these fat fucks, these women don't respect them. They know they're in it for the money. These guys never developed their true personality. They never developed themselves, right? If you are dating a woman and you're leaving her and you're neglecting her, that tells me you lack self-awareness. That's just a guy who feels entitled and never worked on himself. As if you as a person genuinely work on yourself, your personality will be developed, and you'll have a somewhat likable personality. But these guys are insecure guys. They have no sense of self, no self-awareness, no awareness of what's happening. It's all about them. They're in their own little world, and the woman is just a side character. Of course, shit could happen under them, and they don't notice it because they don't even notice what's really happening with themselves. Like those guys are miserable, pleasure-seeking, hedonistic, getting rich people who are disconnected from reality. We know how rich people be doing nowadays. Oh, don't even get me started.
You have to be in her fantasy consistently as a man. Like if you're jacked, you're in shape, and you're also making money, and you're also charismatic.
Nah, it's just, bro. It's just you have to pick the right woman. These guys are rich, but they don't know how to pick a woman. That's the problem. Like if you look at rich guys, what does the shit like? Look at Elon. Like you think just because they're money that look at these NBA players, bro. Klay Thompson just dated Megan Thee Stallion. Like these guys are not good. Look at fucking Zion Williamson. Look at Jalen Green. These guys don't know what they're doing. Like with women, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So they're the easiest prey, the easiest victims to get played. Like it's just that simple, man. Like it's just that simple.
In other areas of life, she will always be attracted to you for the most part. And
let's go back. Let's go towards the end here. Right here.
Ever say okay if your woman wants to hire a male trainer, you should be in the best shape of your life to where you're giving her nutritional advice, you're giving her training advice. You should be the go-to for that. She wants to get a masseuse, you learn how to give good massages so she doesn't need that shit. Everything, bro, and expect the same.
What he's saying is pay attention to your woman. Pay attention to your woman. But the problem is that these rich guys, it's all about them. That's the problem. Like, if you're in that position, it's kind of like, it's one, learn to read women better. Okay? Because most likely they're dating materialistic women and they don't know, they can't tell the difference. And two, like, look at yourself, observe yourself. You'll realize you're not happy, and that when you observe that, you start to make the right changes to be happy. And usually it comes with increasing your self-awareness, and that will expand to just becoming a more likable person. And even though you might be a fat fuck rich guy, well, you still be likable, you know. Anyways, man, let me know what you guys think. And look, man, if women are watching this, y'all, this is what could happen to you, man. Like, you might end up being a MILF who cheats on her husband because you resent him for not paying attention to you, because you chose a guy for money who's always busy traveling around. It's like, come on, man. Like, we gotta, who am I to talk, man? Honestly, man, I got no place to talk because I be doing stupid shit too, man. Like,
all right, guys, we're going to have a brief intermission so that I could tell you guys about our new bundle that we're doing, where you guys can purchase all of my courses and get it at a discount. So this bundle is pretty much the bundle where you could just buy all of my courses. You could buy Nice Guy, which is a training course on how to come across more assertive, how to come across more confident, how to not give off nice guy vibes. You guys can get access to Dark Game, which is my full dating course on how to meet women in different scenarios, how to attract women, how to make sure you don't come across as creepy, and essentially how to act like a man and not act like a doofus, to be quite honest with you. And you get all of these bonuses, which is the bonuses of Dark Game, the bonuses of Practical Mastery, which is about how to master a skill, Social Mastery, which is how to master your social life, and the Laws of Human Nature, which is a book club videos that I had dissecting Robert Greene's book. All of this is naturally at around naturally is at $346, but you guys can purchase this bundle and get it at what's the price again? Get it at $238 pretty much. So you guys can purchase it right now. It's a money back 30-day money back guarantee. It's a good way to, rather than just buying them individually and paying extra, you guys can just purchase everything at a discount price. Now, the only thing I don't like is the fact that I'm giving you a lot of information at the same time. That makes me kind of scared, because a lot of times people don't do the things that I teach when you get too much information. But I've gotten too many requests to do this, so I'm just satisfying you guys. Purchase it right now by clicking on the description down below where it says purchase the bundle. All right, let's continue with the video.